For the third time in 4 years, obviously nobody could come out last year. Sean McVay, head coach of the Rams, joins us on the Doug Gottlieb Show. I want to play for you something that Dan Campbell, who now the head coach of the Detroit Lions, right? He was the interim head coach of the Dolphins a couple years ago, former tight end in the NFL. He had this to say about how he gets himself ready for practice every morning.
Normally what I do is I'll get two venti. I go to Starbucks to get two venti of the pike with 2 shots in them, so black eye in both. That's what I come in with. That's how I start the day. So
strong. That's 40 ounces of coffee plus you have 4 shots. That's strong.
It's a lot of liquid there.
Yeah, it's a lot of liquid, right? Plus a diuretic.
Yes.
Okay? So
we know we're sprinting to the bathroom.
Okay. So, but you are kind of a personal shot. You have that indefatigable personality where you're always on and you're always focused. What's your pre-practice? You get up in the morning routine.
Yeah. It's all natural, Doug. I don't need any of that. No, I'll tell you what. Usually I'm just a simple double espresso shot. I don't want too much liquid. I'll do that, or I'll use kind of like a pre-workout drink. Fast twitch, gives me some good energy. Also makes my face itch. All kinds of crazy stuff. So it's either if I'm usually like I like to start the day with a good workout. So those pre-workout drinks give you some good juice, but that's a lot of liquid. That would be a little much for me.
Okay, so apparently your best recruiting tool is to be in Cabo, not in.
Yes. Unbelievable, huh?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody really believes that organically occurred, but it did. It did.
The best part is that you had Kyle in Cabo at the exact same time.
And I did not know that. I knew Kyle had a place down there. But fortunately, Matthew was at the right place. He was at Chileno Bay instead of, where Kyle stays at. And so, you can't make it up. It's unbelievable. It worked out. To be able to acquire a player like him, Doug, is something that really doesn't occur frequently. And then the more I'm around him, the more you can't help but respect his game and the person that he is.
Well, there's always the question with guys that put up numbers in any sport on teams that aren't winning, right? Yeah. Is it a product of padding the stats and losing teams, or a product of, hey, he's held back? And what I've been told, and you would know way 50 million times more than me, is like he actually was never in an offense that actually fit his skill set when he's in Detroit. How close do you feel like your offense is to unleashing all that Matt can do?
Well, I think we're looking at that right now and continuing to get familiar and comfortable with what does he feel best with, what does he execute the best on the grass and in some of these practice settings, Doug. But I think that in a lot of instances, when you go back and you watch him, this guy is he's the real deal, and he's playing the quarterback position at the highest levels in the most difficult spots. That's what really stood out to me. His ability to move and navigate the rush, his ability to keep his eyes down the field and manipulate coverage, get through progressions, and then there's a lot made about his ability as a thrower, and it's real. I mean, the ball comes out of his hands so naturally. He can change his arm slot. He can, and I think what he does, I heard Bill Walsh say this back in the day, the first thing he would always look for with quarterbacks is, does he throw a catchable ball? And Matthew, he has a strong arm, but he paces it as necessary as what's required based on the type of throw, the type of concept. And you could talk to, the receivers and the skill players, they love it because it only comes as hard as necessary, and they give themselves a chance to create after the catch.
Okay, so he hits his thumb on a teammate's helmet the other day.
That was a bad feeling.
What is that? What is that feeling like when you're very early on in training camp and here you got the quarterback, you move mountains to get it, and he's shaking his hand like you hurt his thumb?
Well, we were running we were simulating a 2-minute drill, and it sounded like a gunshot. My eyes were on the coverage, and then I look back and I see him holding my hands, and I think I blacked out after that. So, he's a tough guy. That was a bad feeling. And I had this premonition. You see some teams around the league, Doug, where they wear those caps over the top of the helmets. Yeah. The main reason is for concussion preventative maintenance, but it's also a good way when so much of the time, when you're coming down as a quarterback finishing that throw, you hit the top of helmets and it can soften the blow. And I had
So you guys going to do that?
You damn right we are.
Yeah, I've always wondered.
Hey, fool me once. I'm not making that same mistake twice.
Are you also going to wrap Aaron Donald in bubble wrap? I mean, I can't imagine what that feeling was like last year to go into a playoff game and not have arguably the best player in football fully healthy.
He's unbelievable. And you know what's so great about Aaron too, Doug, is he's playing with a couple broken ribs, basically. He wouldn't say anything. He's got such mental toughness. He's working through it. But, we had our first day in pads yesterday, and he absolutely took over the day, which is pretty standard. I'm really glad he's on our team. Doug.
Yeah, but it has to ruin your practice at some point. Like, hey, dude, we're trying to run something
That's
here.
exactly right. That's why he'll be standing next to me today. He's going to get a veteran rest day. So, I think the thing that's so amazing about him is the consistent juice that he brings every single day. He said in an interview at the beginning of camp he was feeling like he's 30 years old. Well, he sure doesn't look like it with the way that he's played, the way that he's starting off training camp. He's got a look in his eye. He's as driven and as motivated as I've ever seen, and I can't wait to watch what he's going to do this year leading the way.
We saw you a couple years ago get a running back off the couch and make him into a star. Unfortunately, now you thought you had a star that you drafted last year,
Yep.
and he gets hurt. I think most people want to know what he can do with the running back position.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Doug, and we talked about this a couple years ago. I'm a big Darrell Henderson fan. We drafted him in the second round a couple years ago for a reason. He's got ability. He's got burst.
Can I tell you the story real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
You were telling me about Darrell Henderson. Then you walk back to practice, and a couple other, Les was with me, and he's like, I don't know. He loves Darrell Henderson. He just loves him.
I do.
Right?
Yeah. And I love Cam Akers too, but that's a good problem to have. And so, unfortunately, Cam's going to recover. He's going to rehab. He'll be back ready to roll, and he'll do a great job for us for many years to come. But Darrell Henderson is a guy that we felt the same way. You look at last year, we kind of had the mindset of a running back by committee approach, and it just so happened that in a lot of the games, Cam was injured, Darrell was healthy, and vice versa. And so when Darrell was healthy, you really look at it through the first 8 games of the season, he was playing really good football, showing versatility in the run game, the pass game. He's explosive. And I think you see really, going into year 3 for him, he's got a maturity and a confidence and a great look in his eye, and Thomas Brown's been great with him.
People in the NFL have copied your model, not even playing their starters in preseason games. But now you have a new quarterback.
Yep.
What's the plan for preseason games?
There is zero chance you'll ever see Matthew Stafford take a snap in the preseason for the Rams as long as I'm the coach. That will never happen. So he is not going to play. That's why it's important, Doug, for us to try to get competitive ops against some of these other teams in practice settings. Practicing against the Cowboys this Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll get the Raiders twice. So we're always looking for those things. But until you tell me that if a guy gets hurt in the preseason that we'll get those games back or they'll add them on the schedule afterwards as, you get 2 games because you lost those guys in the preseason, it's hard for me to make sense of it.
There's an empty palace that you got to play in last year.
Yeah.
We got 30 seconds. What's that going to be like to play in SoFi?
Unbelievable. We had a practice at the end of our off-season program. There was 25,000 people going crazy for just throwing routes on air. I can only imagine with 72,000 screaming Sunday night football, September 12th, Rams versus the Bears. Let's go, Doug.
It's awesome. I wish I could play. I wish I was good enough. In the meantime, get back in there and get some film work going. We appreciate you joining us.
Yes, sir. Good to see you again, man.
Sean McVay joining us from Rams camp. This is the Doug Gottlieb Show on Fox Sports Radio.